I often find that this one tool in Revit helps communicate different design iterations better than any other. I've seen a lot of people try to show their different design iterations by hiding things in the view, even seen people try to copy geometry over, which really just ends up creating a mess both of your sheets and your model space. In this video, I'll walk you through how to set up design options using this condo layout and how to save time and look professional in front of your clients. Let's start by defining what a design option is in Revit. Design options allow you to create, manage, and present multiple design alternatives within a single Revit project file without duplicating models or views. This tool is ideal for exploring different layout variations, architectural features, or even client preferences. This can all be done while maintaining a clean and coordinated BIM workflow throughout your project process, from schematic design all the way through construction documents. Each design option, it really exists within an option set. So an option set is really just a cluster of design options for one specific thing. Within the option set, you're going to define a primary view. Primary is going to be the one that is shown in all the different views. And then you also have the ability to override a view to show a very specific design option, even if it's not the primary. This is explained in our visibility graphics override video that you can watch in our YouTube library. After you've gone through your design options and gone through your normal design processes, both with your team and with your client, you can accept the selected option, which merges it back into the main model, then becomes treated just as any other normal Revit element would be treated. So design options are really a unique feature within Revit. They're unlike groups, phases, or linked models. Those are all great in their own way, but all these different tools are good for their specific tasks. So design options are really for exploring alternative layouts or concepts within the same space. Groups are really for repeating the same design in multiple places. Phases are really more of a schedule timeline within a project, can show existing demolition and new construction, not necessarily about showing different iterations. And linked models, they're more for collaborating across disciplines or buildings, or even showing site context within your building model. So when you're thinking about design options, think about design iterations. All right, so let's jump into this interface. If you go to Manage tab, you'll see right here, dead center, you'll see design options. So right now, we don't have any design options loaded within the project. So let's go ahead and click design options. From here, you'll see the dialog box. It'll say now editing main models. That just means that you're within the main model space. And then lots of buttons over here. And the only active one on the right is under option set. So that's that large cluster of options that we have. You'll go ahead and click new. And then you'll see that option set 1 is created. And then it automatically creates an option 1. And you'll see here within the care brackets, it says primary. So right now, option set 1 only has one option. In order to add another option, right here, you see option, click new, and that creates another option. So what it does by default, it just says option 1, 2, 3, and so on. You can rename all of these by clicking rename. The next button here, make primary. So let's say you're working on design option 1 as the primary, and you want to make option 2 the primary. So that's the preferred option. You can just click make primary, and that switches the primary to option 2. So I'll get into more detail here once we start adding things to our option sets. But to start, I want to look at the kitchen space here. So we will go ahead and rename the option set as kitchen options. In option 1, let's rename that to be street counter. And then option 2, let's rename that to be island. Click OK. And then let's go ahead and close out of this. So, but you can tell since I have the ability to click this, it means that it's in the main model. If it was in any of the design option sets, you wouldn't be able to click it. So let's go ahead and add this to the straight design option. So let's go back to manage, and you'll notice that these other buttons are activated now. So there's one that says add to set. There's another that says pick to edit. So let's go ahead and click add to set. So you have the option to add it to the different design option sets. So if you do the drop down, we only have the one here. And then within that, you have the option to send it to multiple different design options. So let's go ahead and right now, let's go ahead and just add it to the straight counter. Click OK. And now you see that I'm no longer able to click on that. If I go here to this drop down where it says main model, so that just means we're in the main model space. And then you'll see kitchen options. So that's the design option set. Let's click on straight counter. And now you see that I'm able to click on this, but I'm no longer able to click on the typical main model elements. Now, if we come back, we can add the different elements that we want included within this design option set. And then another way to access this, instead of going into this dropdown, this button here, pick to edit, you can do this. And then now you can see that when we hover over the elements within the design option, it actually highlights. So if you click on one, you'll notice now that it automatically changed to the straight counter, and then it's also showing this. So this is really great for when you're in a situation when you don't know what design option the element's in, or if you're just trying to quickly go through the model and do that. Let's go ahead and switch over to the island counter. You'll notice that our kitchenette is no longer there. That's because it only existed within that other design option. You can add these elements to that. There's several ways you can do it. We can go here, you can copy the elements, go back to the other one, then paste it. Or another quick way to do this, if you haven't created the second design option, you can go into the design options dialog box, click duplicate, and then here rename it accordingly so it's clear to everyone. Let's go ahead and do an L shape to close. Now, if we cycle through these, so island counter, we have those same elements, L shape, straight counter. So let's go ahead now and our island counter, let's go ahead and add that in. We have our main kitchen here, the straight, and then now we also have this island countertop. So if we go back to manage and then go to straight, you'll notice that this disappears. And then if we go back to island and if we come to main model, it also disappears. And the reasoning for that, as explained earlier, the primary option is what's going to be showing in your main model. If we wanted to override this and always show the island countertop, you go to visibility graphics override, edit, go to the design options tab, and then here you'll see kitchen options where it says automatic just meaning whatever the primary is. You'll do the drop down island counter and then okay. Now you'll notice that our island countertop option is showing because it's essentially being forced to with our visibility graphics overrides. Now, if we want to pick to edit, have the option to do that. And now we're back in that editing space. To reset it, you just go back to visibility graphics override, go to automatic and click OK. That's really a good way to do different presentations. So if you create multiple views, you're able to kind of force each design option within those views. So we can kind of set that up now. Let's go ahead and duplicate this view several times, and then we can rename them to whatever the option is. So in this case, it'll be island, and then in this case, it will be the L shape. So once we have this new sheet set up, let's go ahead and drag those views onto the sheet. So after we drag these onto the different sheets now, you'll see we have 3 identical views. And the reason for this is because it's all showing the primary. So if we wanted to modify that, we'll just go back to our visibility graphics in each view. We want to make sure that we're correlating the design option with the correct view. Now that we've forced the correct design option into the correct views, you can see that the island now has the island shape, the L shape now has the L shape kitchen, and then our straight kitchen, the original primary option, is still showing that straight kitchen. So you'll notice that kitchen option here, even though it's the primary option, it's going to show regardless if it's automatic. The reason that I actually set it to straight counter is because if we go, we're now set it automatic. If we go to design options and then change the primary option by clicking make primary, you'll now notice that it's the L shape here. So the reason this is happening is because it's set to automatic. We wanted that to be the straight counter. So that's just a quality assurance method to make sure that we're always showing the correct option in the correct view. We can now print this sheet, click preview, and now you'll see that all 3 design options are island, L shape, and straight counter. Those are all set up on our sheet, and now we're ready to print this out for a client presentation or really just for an internal team discussion. Once we've decided on the one that we like, let's go ahead and click on the design options dialog box. So let's say that the L shape counter is the one that we're moving forward with. If you click on the design option set, kitchen options here, you'll notice the button says accept primary. So if we click this, you'll get this dialog box. What this is saying is that if we accept the L shape counter, it's going to delete the island counter and the straight counter options. And then it's also going to put that L-shaped counter into the main model. So let's go ahead and click accept primary. So another dialog box is going to come up. And since there are views that we're forcing to show specific design options that are being deleted, it's asking what we want to do with it. So right here, if we check these, it's going to delete these views. And if we uncheck these, it's going to keep the views, but then reset it to the default. So since this is a specific design option set that we have just to review this kitchen layout, let's go ahead and delete those. Once we click OK, you'll notice that it completely clears out the design options set and the design options. And as we just discussed, the other 2 views, since we clicked check on those, it deleted the other views. So those are no longer on the sheet. And if you go searching for it in your project browser, you'll no longer be able to see it. If we go into this view, you'll now notice that we can freely click on these elements. It's because they're no longer within that design option set. This is just a normal part of the Revit interface and main model workflow. Let's go ahead and undo that. I want to show a few other things that are valuable within the design option workspace. We can also choose to create multiple option sets. So for this one, let's go ahead and rename this to bathroom. Click OK. And then let's add another option set. Or actually, for this one, let's go ahead and close that. And then let's select everything that we have here within our bathroom to be a part of that design option set. Let's go back to our design options dialog box. Let's duplicate that, rename this option 2. So let's say in option 2, let's just go ahead and mirror this such that the door is on the south side. You'll notice I created this line here so I could find the middle so I can mirror it. And you'll also know that it's grayed out. So this line is an annotation line. Generally, the 2D elements like annotation lines, those are not included within the design option sets, and it will just default to the main model. So now once we're here, we can also do the same exact thing that we did previous. and do that. So now this is pretty nice because you can start to mix and match these. So maybe you wanted to create a matrix of seeing all these options of kitchens with all the options of bathrooms. You can really easily and quickly do that. So one thing to note about hosted elements, let's say we wanted to play with the location of this door in relation to the bathroom, and we want to go add this door to our bathroom layout options and click OK. You'll notice this dialog box pops up here. It says the selected elements cannot be added to the option set, and it starts to give us this explanation. Since this wall is not a part of that design option set, you cannot host an element that is in the design option set. So in general, as a rule of thumb, we always want to include every element that's going to be related to that design option, or if it's hosting an element that's related to it, we always just want to include that within our design option. So the way to get around this, we would select the door and the wall and then add it to our design option sets, do our pick to edit. And now you see in our two options here, option 1 and option 2, the door is now relocated to be closer to this wall in option 1. And in option 2, the door remains in the same location. You can also check out BIM Depot's complete library of Revit families and templates on our website, bim-depot.com. You can become a member there and be the first to access all the new families and updates that we have to offer.